Alright guys, so we are back again in NoMansSky a drift update, but we are not actually doing any of that drift challenges. So if you watched my previous video, I think this is why you're here, to watch me finish up building this base. So what I had done previously was I just built that garage over there, which is massive. Then I went on to build this base. So it's a 1-bedroom, and what we're gonna do now is we're gonna accessorize it. So let's get on with it. I'm Henry Sparks and welcome to another video. If you're watching my videos for the very first time, or you are joining my channel again, and it's not your first time and you still haven't subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and press that subscribe button, subscribe to my channel, and leave a thumbs up on this video. Also, if you've got any comments, if you like my bases, if you like my style of building, or if you want to see more content with regards to building, please go ahead and leave your comments in the comment section. I will be sure to respond to you. Also, if you've got some tips to help me make my bases much more nicer, I'm very keen to hear all of that feedback. So right now, what I did, guys, was I built a kitchen. So I just used these, as you can see there. So they are counters, golden counters. So you've got a corner one, then you've got the short one, and then you've got a full one. So I just simply arranged all of those golden counters over there like that to create a kitchen. Then I just put some accessories, some taps over right there, and then some bar stools over there. So and then over here in the lounge area, I'm actually not gonna do anything else. I'm just gonna remove that couch and that couch. So what we're gonna do, guys, is I'm gonna go and stand over right here. Then I'm gonna enter my building camera by simply pressing B. That means I can now move freely within using only the camera and not actually my character. All right, so there we go. So now what I want to do, guys, is I need to finish up building this base. So I wonder what I can do. This needs to be the lounge area. So the very first thing I need to work on is the lighting. Actually no, it's fine. I think we can first throw down some couches and around here. So let's do this. I need to see what I can do. Should I do couches? Okay, I think I'm gonna start with the wall. So this wall right here, if I can set up screens, it will seem as well like these screens are pretty much a TV. So let me do that. I know these are billboards, right? But we don't actually have a TV in here. So the closest thing that you have that is a screen is these billboards, right? Or are these billboards, correct English? So by doing that, that means I can now be able to define a lounge area based on this. The sitting area is gonna be much more easier to now arrange, since we want everything to face this side now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set this one up right here like perhaps. I think this is okay. Let's see how aligned is it. Okay, this is perfect. I think it's perfect. All right, but that's not enough, right? I need to set up a second couch. Perhaps, maybe we could conjoin these couches so that we have, I was thinking maybe I could open up a little bit of room. Just want to make it perfect. Corner sofa. I think this is okay. Actually, I don't have a small table, so I'm gonna use a stool as a table. All right. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna chuck on a small plant on there. Actually, not a small plant, but I could potentially just chuck on this. Then these two will look like will serve as a table in between the couches. Then the next thing that I'm gonna actually do is put in an actual table, right? Okay, gonna make it smaller a bit, and then we slap it on. Where is the middle of this lounge? I think just the middle of the carpet is perfect, but somewhere around here it's also quite good. All right. All right, then what goes onto the table is going to be a plant. I make it quite small so that it's portable. All right. Perhaps I will change the pot plant color to match the couches so that we don't have a lot of too many different colors. All right, and then what I need to do is set up another big plant. This one is going to be massive, guys. Okay, and this will cover this side of the couch, right? That's because I'm a big plant lover, and even in my home at the moment, I have, quite a bit of plants. So this is like my signature move, and already, as you can see, guys, it's already starting to feel nice. It's already starting to feel like a vacation home. Because I mean, look at this lounge. Look at this lounge. Beautiful, isn't it? Right. And then we can still use these plants, right? So before I dismiss the plant menu, I'm gonna plug on some plants. Maybe one really big plant on the corner here. So let's just go ahead around the entire apartment, entire property. This is not an apartment, it's an entire villa. So I'm just gonna go on ahead and add plants wherever I'm gonna need plants, and then I'll just dismiss the menu once. Maybe I'll only bring it again when I really do need to add another plant, but I think for now let's add all the necessary places, which are quite obvious. So this place on the balcony, as well as this place on the balcony. But who said I cannot actually put another one here? I can actually. You know what? Let's do it. Why not? You can never have too many plants. There are too many controversies in the world, but this is one I believe that almost everyone agrees in this world, and you can never have too many plants. But anyways, our lounge is very dark and gloomy. So what are we gonna do about that? I think we need some proper lighting, right? So the lighting, we can find that here. What's the perfect? Okay. So before anything else, I think I'm gonna put this source of lighting right next to the plant. So let's move the plant a little bit further out, and we can have a table lamp right next to that. So that should already bring in a bit more light into our place. What I'm gonna do next is I need to check on can I try this chandelier? Is it gonna add enough light in my lounge? Let's see. So that will need to be directly above. Somewhere there, right? Directly above. Actually, that's not directly above. You know what, guys? I know the light that's going to be able to provide a lot of illumination in this room is this one here. Alright, but I need to see exactly where is the perfect place to where's the perfect place to place this. So I think if I place it right here, it's going to definitely work in my favor because it's lighting the entire couch, which I believe is going to be great. So this one doesn't light automatically. That means I will need to provide some sort of power, right? So that's where we're going to use the solar panels, etc, etc. So let's get on the flow and lining up this. So line it up nicely like that. And then I'll place it right here as well. All right. This should provide light in the middle of the lounge. I'll need some more lighting, so perhaps one more over here because of the alignment. I'm very nitpicky, guys, about how I want things. So if I don't get it to look the way I want it to look, I'm gonna replace it for something else. So I will replace with these nice lamps. You know, they provide some really ambient light, which is really beautiful as well. You can see it brings in this like red color, which is amazing. I really quite like it. So I'll just replace that. Maybe I'll place another one here and the last one right over here. So now, as you can see, if I can go there, you would see that my lounge is perfectly illuminated with this beautiful red glow. Look at this, right? So it's beautiful, it's amazing. And then I'm gonna have that white light come straight from here as well. So I think maybe let's actually go with that pattern, right? Whereby we can remove this glaring white light, and then I'm just gonna replace it with some. I'm gonna replace it with essentially, you know, some red light, some red glows. But then what I need to do is also find something that can perhaps cover these lamps so that it doesn't look like the entire place is just, you know, lamps thrown around. So only way I can do that is perhaps maybe putting a plant around it or on top of it. But let's see what I can do to block it out, right? Do I have anything that I can use? So there's nothing in particular that I could use, but I just need some shelving in place. So I'm just gonna go on ahead and chuck on my shelf, be right around this corner. Could make it a bit smaller as well. That being said, gonna need another plant for that. Alright guys, so I just learned a new trick, You can actually place a plant right on top of a lamp, and what happens now is you still have the glow of the lamp, see that, but now it's just coming from the plant. It seems like the plant is the one that's actually illuminated. So this is amazing, guys. I think it could be a bug in the game, but it works in our favor. It's great, right? It's great because now I've got some nice illumination, but it's coming from plants instead of some ugly looking lamps. Amazing. Perfect. All right, so what do we need in this section? I know that this is a welcoming section soon as a user enters. So yeah, let's find something to do here. Okay. Alright guys, so this table, we'll just say this table will be right in the middle, because it actually shows you let's assume that it's going to show the entire layout of the terrain that we've built our base on. So yeah, it's going to be a nice addition just to make things look nicer. But look at this, guys, this is coming together pretty damn well. What I need to do is to perhaps set up a nice chandelier that can drop some light for us. So let's do that. So we've got the table right here. I think I'll set up that lighting right over here. Make it massive. So when you walk in, you have this massive chandelier dropping light. Maybe let's make 2 of those. Maybe I can make it smaller so that I can wonder what size would be ideal. Perhaps I can move this table even a bit more further down here. All right. And that chandelier would probably be ideal to place it right there. And we make it big enough to cover that portion. And the second one will also go right here. If I want a third, do I need a third? I think I can use a third. Okay. Now when you enter, you have these 3. Now let's look at our entrance. When you enter, if you look up, 3 beautiful chandeliers overlooking this entire area, providing some nice illumination. Alright, okay, I'm a fan of this. This looks great so far. So I think we're already done, guys, with this bottom section. We could still put in a couple of other accessories here, but maybe let's finish up the balcony. So what I would do on the balcony area is I just need on the balcony, let's chuck on a table over there. Yep. And then just a couple of chairs. It's a one bedroom villa, so you won't really have a lot of people. I think you probably just come here with your partner or just your friend. So you won't really need a lot, unless if you're really an extrovert and you're gonna be hosting people, then yeah, I guess let's go ahead and give you a second. Let's give you we'll give you a second table on your balcony. And 2 more chairs, just in case you're gonna be hosting, you know, more than one person. All right, since there is no shade outside here on the balcony, I think we need something for shade, so we can chuck on a hammock. Oh, sorry, a gazebo I meant, my bad. Don't know how I missed those 2 words, but anyways, oh well. I'm gonna chuck on a gazebo and another gazebo right over there. So that way you're gonna have some shadows cast. Alright guys, so as you can already see, this is shaped together pretty well, right? On my garage area, I might need a gazebo here, just in case there's, like, you know, high-tech people to come see my Batman mobile and my luxury rides in my boat, and we want to just chill on the garage, you know. I think that'll be perfect. All right, what's next? All right guys, I'm at home. This is the outside area. Oh no, why is this floating in the air? I have to make sure it's not floating, but actually on the ground. Okay. Okay, that's strange. I think it could be because of that table. So let's maybe perhaps remove this table and try one more time. Yeah, it definitely was the table. So the table did not want anything on top of it. Now that we've added the gazebos, we can try again with that table. All right, there we go. Alright guys, so we are done, right? The outside area, balcony is set up. We're also done with this kitchen area and the lounging area. I could perhaps chuck on something here to kill this dead space. Let's see what I can do. It's the lounge, so Perhaps I could just chuck on a big box and then just throw on some rug over there, you know, just make the place. Take over this space, really just throw on some rugs. Right, so that kind of takes over that dead space. Let's see what else could I potentially do there. Yeah, my equipment is a bit limited. It's fine. Let's leave that space for now, and we can figure out what else to do. So right now we're gonna go upstairs and start setting up the bedroom. So right here I only have that research unit. Okay, so I've got all that I need here. Now guys, I'm gonna go to the bedroom, built-in camera on, and here's the bedroom, right? Master bedroom, so it's massive. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw down a bed right over here. Yeah, let's create a bed. Okay, so I think the colors in here could be a little bit brighter. Okay, let's try that. So my trick, guys, is actually to stack 2 beds or 3 beds next to each other, and then it will seem as though like we have actually gotten like a double or, you know, triple, so essentially a queen or a king size bed, but it's in essence it's just a single bed placed next to each other. So let's plug on another one so we have a massive bed, big bed, because we don't do anything small here. Either go big or we go home. But yeah, the only thing is the alignment of it sometimes can be a little bit of a pain, so you're gonna have to use a little bit extra time just to try and get, you know, properly aligned on there. Yeah, so that's been done like that. I'll align heads and then yeah, I think this should be fine, right? Alright guys, so you can see we've got a big bed over there, and then of course you cannot have a bed without blankets, so we're gonna chuck on some rugs on top. These ones will be a bit of a darker color since this bed is quite bright. I'll chuck on these right toward the end, and then maybe this singular one right around here. It's just like that. Okay, cool. Now the bed has been set up, we need to sort out, so let's take this as kind of like our walk-in closet. So what we're gonna do gonna make this massive. Actually, more doesn't need to be crazy massive. Alright, so this is gonna be like the walk-in closet, guys. Then we're gonna need another shelving as well on this left side, but you can actually walk into the bedroom and then be able to pick out different outfits from, you know, either side, so to really give you that walk-in closet feel. All right, perfect. And the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna throw down a small table or a small desk. Let's just throw it one right here on the left. And then on there, we're just gonna chuck on a plant. So you've got enough space if in case you wanna, as you're looking for clothes, you just wanna find something, and then you need space. You have space right over there, but you can never have too many plants, so why not put another one right over there at the top, and another one right over there at the top as well. Okay, and right next to your bed. Who doesn't want a plant right next to their bed? So actually, we won't make it crazy like that. What we'll do is we'll make it stand on top of we don't have nightstand, so we're gonna use again S2 as a nightstand. And then we'll chuck on our plant on there and make it super nice and small. Okay, that's cute. And then what we need to do is we need to plug on a lamp in our bedroom, right? You know, bedside lamp. And the red, no, it sets the mood, set the tone in the bedroom. Perfect. I think we can get rid of that glaring light as well and replace it by another. This time around, let's see if I can even make it bigger. That means I'll need to remove that plant, but it's not too crowded for plants in here. Then I can chuck on a big plant. Over there, great. Alright, so now what we need next is a different source of lighting. I think we need that. Maybe one right on top of the bed. And then we're gonna need another one right here. Perhaps we might need another one right here. You will see in a second. I'm going to remove that other lamp that's standing a lot of white light. That's just killing my eyes. Okay, you can see this one here in the corner doesn't look as great, so that's why I'm removing it. And when you get into our bedroom, yeah, you've got this nice, beautiful space. Then outside on the balcony is where I can use that other lamp. This is meant for the outdoors. I think it's quite fitting. So I'll put one right here. And I'll put another one just right outside next to the other one. And then of course, perhaps maybe even another one Like, don't get me wrong, these are like really good sources of light. Like, they are really bright, like extremely bright, but you know, it's not really good for the indoors. I like them also because they don't need any solar panels or generators, you know, to power them up. They just work. Okay, now on the balcony, we can once again use this, but this time around I'm just going to use one of these because it's a bedroom balcony. It's not it's not our lounge balcony, so you know, we're not really gonna bring a lot of people here. But once again, like, we need to use a gazebo. Okay, my bad, I should have remembered. But I think it's also great like that because you don't necessarily need to have it right in the middle of the balcony. You can put it slightly on the side. Alright guys, so just the finishing touches. I'm done with building this space, and thank you for joining me. So if you still haven't subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe. So goal is to reach 500 subscribers by the end of the year, and yeah, would really appreciate your support. Your subscribe matters. So you might think you're just one person, but yeah, it matters and it goes a long way, and it's definitely gonna help us or help me achieve that 500 goal subscribers by the end of the year. So right, on the final touches of this base, I'm just gonna bring a bit more life into here. So perhaps maybe I'll bring my farmer by first setting up my agricultural terminal. That means I'm gonna have a farmer come over and work on that station. I'm also gonna see if I can build a base terminal, construction terminal right here. If it's gonna be too big, let's see. I think it can fit. Let's see how that would look. Cool. Yeah, construction terminal right over there works. That light is just way too bright, so I need to get rid of that quickly. Alright, I think this is perfect without it. If I need any source of lighting, I'm just gonna plug on another big chandelier right hanging. Well, it's not necessarily a chandelier, it's a hanging lamp, but yeah, let's call it a chandelier. Make it big enough, chuck one over there, and same as here, I'm just gonna chuck one on another one over right here, another one over right here. I think we can just chuck these big lamps throughout this space so that when it gets dark, we don't struggle with lighting. We know that we have enough lighting throughout. Alright, and then alright. And with that being said, we are done. So now let's invite him. There he is. And then let's go invite my overseer. There he is. There we go. Alright guys, so let me give you the final tour of this base for now. It's not necessarily the official final tour. We are still gonna come back, and yeah, we are gonna build more. So for instance, we still need to accessorize the lounge, but for now let me take you through. So when you first walk in,